Shut up!
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Carol.
So today we're going to talk about our weddings. So Cheryl, tell me about your wedding.
I had a very simple wedding, considered small, about 100 people. I got married in December. I always wanted snow on my wedding, and so I had about 6 to 8 inches of snow that day. So some people didn't make it. Probably I'd say 75 people, roughly.
Okay.
I got married in an old historic church, over 100 years old. It was where Clara Barton nursed the soldiers on the pews that are still there, the original pews.
Is that in Maryland?
In Virginia. Bring the wounded off the railroad tracks right there and bring them up to the church and nurse them there. Since we had our wedding at a historic church, we decided to have the reception at a community center, but the community center was completely all log cabin. So it was beautiful. It was a nice transition, especially in the snow. I always wanted a big wedding, and I always wanted a cake since I was a little kid. Always wanted a cake with like a 3-tier water fountain in it. I went to my cousin's wedding, and she had a cake with a water fountain in it. And it was beautiful. But, you know, as the day comes, you realize you don't know that many people, at least I don't, to have a huge wedding. You usually don't have the money or you don't want to spend the money on that for one day. I shaved it down quite a bit, but it turned out to be a beautiful wedding. It was very funny. I had my sisters as my bridesmaids. Oh my gosh. I had red velvet dresses. They almost looked like Snow White dress, but it was a red velvet top, like white tulle on the bottom. And I remember asking my sisters to please get the dresses steamed so that they wouldn't be wrinkled. And my one sister said she was going to put it in the shower the morning of the wedding while she was taking a shower.
Oh, my gosh.
I was so upset. I had visions of water
spots.
Right.
Wrinkled water spots on the dress.
Oh, my gosh. So I had a very nice wedding. Forgot a lot of stuff. Had bought these beautiful wreaths to put on the door. Wanted a big rip-roaring fire in the stone fireplace. Nobody got that together, but I'm pretty low maintenance.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
So did everybody make it to the wedding?
Yes, yeah. Everyone lived in the area at the time, and they still do. Yeah, so I had the 2 sisters in the wedding. My brothers weren't in it. My husband's brothers were his best man.
How much input did he have?
Not a whole lot. Didn't seem really interested in input about the wedding, although he had a lot of input about decorating the house and things like that. But he didn't have a lot of, or want a lot of say in it.
So he left the details to you?
Yeah, but it would upset me because we'd meet up after work. I would have called in the day to say, hey, could you please call this person and check on this or whatever, and he would always say, oh, I'm so busy. I'm just too busy. I can't. And then when we would get together at the end of the day, he would show me his little cartoon drawings that he did.
His doodles.
Typical male. Yeah, his doodles. Typical male, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, so, no, I didn't have a lot of input. But it turned out to be a beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I wanted snow on my wedding day, and I wanted my nails to all be the same length. And they were.
That's an accomplishment.
Isn't that something?
Were they fake or real?
No. And you know, they were real. And it's funny because I can never get my nails, all the nails, the same length at one time. But what's so funny is our weddings are like proms now. That was only on your wedding day when you got your hair done, your nails done.
The bikini wax.
Money. Yeah, bikini wax, spray tan, and oh my God, limo.
Yeah, that's what our kids do weekly now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that was like a wedding.
Yeah, pedicure.
So, yeah, I don't even think I thought about getting fake nails on my wedding. I don't think they were a thing back then. Right. It was probably Lee press-on. And not the glue, the double-sided tape, you know?
Lee press-on nails.
You might find your fingernail in a champagne glass. Or you're going to pick your nose or scratch it and the nail stays in it. Yeah,
oh, gosh, that's funny.
Oh, my gosh. So how did you get married?
Well, wait, how long did you know your ex?
Oh, my God. 4.5 years. I was wondering if it was ever going to happen. That seems, you know, it's like nothing now. But it seemed forever. It was getting to the point where it was like getting embarrassing. But I don't know. I don't know if that was just me.
Why didn't you just ask him?
Because I didn't want that thrown back at me later on. You know, I always figured, my mom was like, you give them the ultimatum, it we're going to be thrown back in your face later on.
Yeah.
When things went bad, well, you wanted this.
You
threatened
me?
Yeah, you forced me. You threatened me.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. But we dated 4 years, got engaged, and then we got married. We had to do that Catholic engagement encounter program.
Oh, my God. We did that, too.
For 6 months. Yeah.
Painful.
What a waste. So ridiculous.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So then we got married at 4.5. So engaged at 4, married at 4.5.
Mm-hmm. Did you live together beforehand?
No. I think I stayed over towards the end once I was engaged, you know, and maybe had moved some stuff in slowly. You know, I got ready at my parents' house. I had my room there. Anyway, let's put it this way. I would say no. Because when you say live together, I mean, it's like actually pack up, intentionally moving in, setting up house. So no. As far as that's concerned, no.
Yeah. So how old were you when you got married?
I had just turned 25 in September, I think it was.
Okay.
24 or 25? Yeah, I think it was 24 in September. Yes, 24 in September, I got married in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how quickly did Emmy come after that? 4 months?
We were married.
What?
No. We were married 5 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
That's
like
crazy.
I said, we like to dance and drink and have fun.
Guess so. You guys were living the dream.
Oh, yeah. It was nice. We had a good time.
But you got married young, so you had time.
Yeah.
You weren't in a big hurry.
I didn't want to be a young mom. Because I figured once I had them, that's it. Then you got to be a mom. You know, you can't be doing both.
Going out drinking and dancing.
Yeah, I still did that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he'd stay home and I'd go out with my girlfriend. So, but it wasn't a lot. And it wasn't, I wasn't coming home, I didn't overdo it. It was still just to get out, blow off steam, dance and stuff. And that was short-lived. I think it was an adjustment period. You still think you can do all that when you really can't.
Right, you really can't.
I didn't want to be a young mom, and I always said I would be a fat mom. I didn't want to be that mom that was eating a salad while my kid was eating a hamburger and fries.
Like me.
Yeah. My mom was heavy set when I was a kid, and that's just how I saw moms,
Yeah.
Just like when you see grandmothers are supposed to be older, then you see someone like 35 or 40 and they're a grandmother. It's like, that's not supposed to be.
Right.
You're supposed to be older, gray hair, heavy set.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, my wish came true. Now I look like a grandmother when I'm a mom. But anyway.
Yeah, so my wedding, it was really hard for me to decide what I wanted because, like you, I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, so big Irish family. I didn't want to have a lot of drama and a lot of fanfare.
Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. Did you say big Irish family?
Yeah.
And no drama?
I know. So that means no wedding.
There goes that family intrusion again, right?
Exactly. And I was well into my career at this point, and I didn't know who to invite from work and who not to invite. And it just, because I'm very sensitive. I don't want to exclude people. What I decided to do was exclude everybody. So that way nobody felt left out, So we did that whole Catholic thing. And I have nothing against Catholic people or that tradition or those rituals. But it was painful. Really painful. Like one of the things that happened, first Butch told me to keep my mouth closed when we went in to have the meetings with the priest.
That's a great start.
Yeah. And it was important to him. Really important to him. I wanted it to be nice for him. That was the least that I could do. But the priest, we sit down and the priest goes, "You need to give yourself fully to your husband." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And he goes, "No birth control."
Ugh.
I'm like, "What? Are you serious? I'm not going to be like my mom and have 4 kids in 4 years,
Right.
No, I thought it was bad advice to give a young couple because, I don't know, the whole thing just freaked me out. but I did it. It was nice for Butch, but very stressful for me. Anyway, we had the whole Catholic ceremony in the church. I had the beautiful white dress that I really struggled picking out. I'm not real girly girl, but I wanted something traditional. And then I had this headpiece that I took to my hairdresser, who I had for probably 5 years before I got married. And I gave her this thing on my wedding day. I'm like, get this thing in my hair. And she's like, you gotta be kidding. She did it. It looked really good. Don't get some weird, crazy headpiece, you know.
Did you get married in the 80s or not? You got married in the early 90s, right?
In the 90s, yeah.
The headpieces were a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
The bigger, the gaudier, the better.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah, me too.
But my wedding, unlike yours, was in July.
Okay.
So heat and humidity, I think it rained. Anyway, so we had it in the church. The attendees were Butch and I, my father, my stepmom, Butch's mom, and his stepdad. We invited them because I think the parents are the only ones that really, truly care. Mm-hmm. Like, they get really emotional. They have a picture in their mind of what they want for their daughters. So it was a really nice church mass, the whole mass thing. We did pictures with a photographer. We went out to Great Falls. And my favorite picture is of Butch standing on the edge of the cliff. And I'm standing a little bit back, and it looks like he's going to jump. He's either going to jump or be pushed, one or the other.
That's funny.
I happened to really like him at that time, so I wasn't going to push him. We have these really nice pictures, really nice memory for him in the church. And then afterwards, we just went down to Georgetown and had lunch. So it was really simple ceremony.
That's nice.
And then I think that was on a Sunday or Saturday, and then the next day we drove to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh, beautiful.
For our honeymoon. And of course, back to work.
Wow.
We didn't skip a beat with work.
Wow.
But that's how it was back then. You know, when I really cared about my career. Not so much anymore. I still go to work, but it's not that important that I miss a day or whatever.
Gosh, yeah.
So yeah, it was really nice. If I had to do it differently, I think I would give Butch more input.
Did he want it?
I think he wanted it, but he wanted it to be my day and my way. And that was probably the last day in our marriage that I've had my way. So he wanted it to be special.
Right. At least I can do is give you this one day.
Exactly.
Sucker.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'd have a bigger wedding, plan it out a little bit more. I'd give him more input.
Mm-hmm. Do you regret not having a big wedding?
No, not at all. It was really low drama. It was perfect in my mind.
It sounds nice.
If I was to get married again, which I never would, I would probably do something at the beach and more of a party, like what you had. Mm-hmm. The bands and the dancing and more celebrating.
Right.
At the time, I just wanted to get it over with. Didn't want to spend a lot of money. Didn't want to put a lot of energy into it. Didn't want to miss work. Didn't want to take leave for my wedding.
Oh my gosh. If I clipped my toenail wrong, I'd take leave.
Really?
No. But any excuse.
Sick leave.
Any excuse, yeah. Even if I didn't go anywhere, I probably would have taken some time.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is like how low-key yours was, which I've never been to a bad wedding. Every wedding's beautiful.
Right.
Doesn't matter how you do it, it always turns out beautiful. I always thought it was so sad that on the first year anniversary, people didn't do anything. Mm. Like they would just have dinner or whatever. And I was just like, what? I can't do that. Mm. I'll be in my head. Last year at this time, at 4 o'clock, I was arriving at the church. Mm-hmm. Last year at this time, we were dancing. Last year, my parents had a anniversary party for us.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I don't know if they had it, but we had. It was at their house.
There was a party.
There was a party.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. Wow. Because I was just like, I cannot sit here on a quiet evening reminiscing about all the fun I had a year ago this day.
Yeah.
So we had a nice anniversary party. Drinking, dancing.
Were the dresses steamed? That sounds really nice.
Yeah, it was fun. I used to think every 5 years everybody should have a big party again. Just to remind you, because it becomes so humdrum. I wouldn't do the vow renewals because I used to think it was a kiss of death. And I think a lot of people are thinking that nowadays. It just seems to be, it turns out to be that last-ditch effort, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if you did it look at Seal. Seal and Heidi Klum. I think they renewed their vows every year, and all of a sudden they just divorced.
Yeah.
No warning, no nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway, at least a big party every 5 years.
Did one of them get sick and the other one said, I'm not taking care of you?
Probably. They just didn't announce it. I'm not going to be that ass.
Okay, Cheryl. So we both agree it's not good to renew our vows.
Yeah.
But what would you do differently, looking back on it?
I don't think you should be obligated to put family in your wedding. I think you should put exactly who you want in your wedding. I think that you should do a wedding within your means, which is what I did, and it made it that much more enjoyable. I did cut a few corners, like I said, a few visions that I had, but...
The lLee press-on nails?
Yeah, right. I'd say stay in your budget. If you have someone that can help you out to take care of the little details, like the things I forgot, the wreaths on the doors that I wanted, the fire in the fireplace, maybe have a friend or pay someone to take care of those things for you, to make sure little small things that don't cost a lot happen. So what about you, Carol? What worked about your wedding?
For me, mine was really easy to plan because we only had 6 people. Of course, the costs were low, and the people that most cared were there. Although my brothers and sisters did say afterwards they wish they were invited. What do you think about a wedding planner? Because a lot of people do that now.
I think it's great. I think if you're going to have a big wedding, then a wedding planner. If you're not going to have a big wedding, I don't know if a wedding planner would be too much, but somebody, I guess it doesn't matter. They do big and small weddings, but definitely.
But what about for your wedding? Some of the little details like the fireplace and the wreath on the door. It would have been nice to have a helper.
It would have definitely been nice. I had to go get the cake delivered myself because my sister was supposed to go get it, but to pick up the cake, they had not picked it up yet. I asked why not. It should have been picked up. And he said because my sister was still getting ready. And I thought that was great.
That's a point where a wedding planner would have been perfect.
Right.
Just pick up the phone. Hey, go pick up the cake.
So I said, well, let's you and I go pick up the cake. Yeah. So I had to leave the hairdresser. I think I was done, but nonetheless, I was almost an hour late for my wedding.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Everybody was getting nervous, thinking I wasn't going to show. But they all should have known better.
Yeah.
So I went and picked up the cake with my dad, and we put it in the community center, and the caterers took care of it from there. Yeah, just things like that. Just things I had to run around and do, that I couldn't count on people to do. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So definitely, yes. Short answer, yes. Get a wedding planner if you can. Very valuable.
So what worked for you?
Staying in budget. It was funny. One of the things that happened is I had a beautiful satin dress, and when I went for the fitting, they made it so tight I couldn't breathe. So they had to let it out. Because it was satin, you could see the needle holes in it, and I was so upset. And the woman poo-pooed it and said, oh, you're never going to know on that day, which kind of made me mad.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what you just asked me. Enjoy the day.
Right.
Don't fret over things like that. She was exactly right. I never thought about those needle holes. I don't think anyone ever saw them. So enjoy the day. Yeah. And I enjoyed the day. And I wanted to make sure. It was a little informal. And I wanted it that way because it wasn't going to be at the big hotel. It wasn't going to be that way. So it was informal, and I wanted to make sure that I enjoyed myself. I wanted to make sure of that, and I did. I didn't worry about other people. I stayed in budget. I didn't sweat the small stuff, like the fireplace not getting, the fire in the fireplace getting done. That's about it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy it.
What about your honeymoon? What did you guys do for that?
We stayed local. I wanted to go local. My husband, when we were dating, he worked in Virginia Beach. And so when I would go up to visit him, it was always sad to leave and things like that. So to me, it was a real treat to go back as husband and wife to the places we went, and I didn't ever have to worry about leaving anymore. That was like just a little special thing for me because I didn't want to fly right afterwards. I don't like flying and whatever, that was special to me. And it was simple, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money. But the funny thing is my wedding was not, it's as if it wasn't supposed to happen. As you know, I'm divorced now. And the place where I met my husband has been torn down, and a whole new building's there. Where we met is not just revamped into something else. It was completely torn down. We were supposed to have 3 videographers at the wedding. 2 of them couldn't show, maybe 3 of them didn't show, and somebody just happened to take like a video. It wasn't the greatest.
Right.
And then when we had our first party, it got erased. We taped over it by accident. And then when we were on our honeymoon, he thought there was film in the camera. And, you know, back then you couldn't check, otherwise you'd expose all the film. He was pretty sure there was film in it, and there was none. So we didn't get any honeymoon pictures. So I think that's kind of funny. That's a little telling, isn't it?
There's no record of it.
Right. So you said you didn't go on a honeymoon, or you went to Skyline, right?
Yeah, we went to Skyline Drive. And I have pictures to prove it.
Yeah. See?
So I guess the big takeaway for me is it's your day. Do it your way. There's no right or wrong. It's special. You're only going to do it one time with that guy. Do it up. Do it up the way you want it.
I agree 100%. Like I said, there's never been a wedding I've been to that wasn't beautiful or special in its own way.
So, Cheryl, this has been really fun having conversations today about our wedding. I invite our listeners to join us next episode when we talk about how we selected our housing, and also to go out to Facebook or Instagram and post in the comments what you loved about your wedding and maybe what you would do differently now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you. See you next time.
Bye.